Oh, hi everyone, it's Susie, Crypto Granny here. Let's have a look at the technicals. They look pretty interesting today, I have to say. When you look at some other coins, mainly coins that we hold, and some tokens, some of the coins that we do hold, hitting near or over the 200-day moving average on a 4-hour on the graphs. Bear with me for a minute, I'll just have a drink of water. So I just want to go through some. Now, there's many people out there saying that Bitcoin hasn't bottomed yet and that it could see lower levels, maybe below 18,000 or something like that. We did see it get to about 17,546 or something, depending on which exchange you're on. And the bears were certainly out last Thursday, Friday and Saturday, when someone in Canada had to liquidate something like about 20-odd thousand Bitcoin, which drove that price down to about 17,500. Now, CZ Changpeng Zhao from Bernard says he believes the bottom's in place. I do too, but I'm really looking at it for the next 6 months or so. So, yes, we might see further weakness on the downside, but I don't think it's going to be there for very long. I sent out some stuff today on Discord saying that all the exchanges only hold about 9% supply of Bitcoin. And a year ago, they held, what was it, about 20-odd% supply or something like that. So it's quite a dramatic fall in the amount of stock that the exchanges hold for Bitcoin. And as you know, Bitcoin doesn't have much supply. 21 million, 19 million has been mined. And, if the exchanges don't have Bitcoin, the physical Bitcoin, then you've got to wonder how far this can move down. Also, if we look at the derivatives, and the derivatives are very important. If we look at Bitcoin futures for July, Bitcoin futures, which are the derivation of Bitcoin, and they can be issued by the exchange, the CME, or the Chicago, or the big exchanges, the big global exchanges, which are centralized. Now, again, they can issue as many derivatives as they want, Bitcoin futures, and the Bitcoin futures, there's billions and billions shorting Bitcoin at the moment. And there's billions and billions and billions of dollars of bought put shorting Bitcoin at the moment as well. And the thing is, right, if the physical price of Bitcoin, and at the moment it is around, what do we got, 203.19, and yet the futures contract of Bitcoin is lower. Clearly, the professional traders are selling Bitcoin futures, and the Bitcoin physical price is about 150 higher than the Bitcoin futures price. Now, if you look at Ethereum, it's not as much as that. With Ethereum, I think it's about 20 points or something, $20 less. Futures are $20 less compared to Ethereum physical coin, okay? So Bitcoin, I'm wondering how far can they push this, because there really is a lack of supply, and most of the positioning, short-term positioning, is shorting Bitcoin, okay? So you just need to know that. Also, the miners had to sell all their Bitcoin because it's not at this level with Bitcoin around 20-odd thousand. It's not in their P&L, their revenue compared to their expenses. It's not profitable for them anymore. So we've seen a lot of miners ditch their rigs, get rid of their graphic cards, get rid of everything. Everything's on sale at the moment. Compared to last year when there's a massive shortage of mining rigs and also a massive shortage of graphic cards. So, all that to me tells me that, the downside to Bitcoin is very limited from here. And if they do push it with a gusto, I think it's going to bounce off, anything below 18,000 pretty quickly. That's my view. And that's why I came out last week. I forget what day it was. I believe the market has bottomed, the cryptocurrency market. A lot of people are against me. They're all saying, oh, no, so you're wrong. You're completely wrong. But we'll see. I'm looking at it now for the bigger picture in a 6 month view, right? And I believe Bitcoin has bottomed for a 6 month view or a 3 month view. I think the market has sold off quite a lot. When we look at what it sold off in the month just in June, it's something like crazy, 60-odd% or something. If we go to, another spreadsheet of mine, which I'll pull up, bear with me. The market's sold off heaps, right? And, it makes everything even more cheaper, right? Even cheaper, because the networks are still making money and everything else, right? Oh, I can't get that up. Internet's a bit slow today. But the networks are still making money and, everything else. So you know, in my mind, it puts Bitcoin's valuation back to 2017. Okay, so we go here, and I just had a look at this today. You know, in 30 days, Nexo was sold at 47%, Ethereum 45%, Crow 39%, KuCoin 38%. This is a lot, people. I mean, you know, it was even down even worse than this at one stage, right? Matic's still down 24%. You know, Chile's is still down more. You know, it's only going from 12 cents, but it's down heaps, 60-odd%, right? For me, you know, this is buying. You know, when the crypto fear index is around 11 or 9 or 8 or whatever, this is buy for me. But anyway, let's get on to the technicals of Bitcoin. It is the 4 hours that I look at, and I look at with all my different indicators. And yes, this, you know, it could get down maybe to 1964, you know, just short term. And maybe potentially back down below 18,000. But in my mind, this is a buy, and this is the lowest we've seen Bitcoin since 2017. This is starting to set up to me like a descending wedge. A descending wedge is when it goes whoosh straight up. Now, again, the shorters are really short coming into June and July. And I just feel that there is limited downside on the cryptocurrency market. And I believe Changpeng Zhao, Binance, because he's a very, very clever guy, he says the same thing. He's just employed an exclusive contract with Ronaldo, one of the biggest football players in the world, to do NFTs. And look, Changpeng Zhao is one of the smartest guys in the business, right? He has 80% of all the volume in the business and killing everyone else. And now they're going, Binance is not offering any, they're not charging US any fees to be in bigger competition with Coinbase and with FTX. And Coinbase has just taken down their professional site, which is interesting. And they're actually getting rid of workers, where Binance is looking for workers all over the world, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and certainly looking for about 500 or 600 people in Amsterdam. Okay, so you know, I just feel this market is so oversold. It's a joke. In the next 6 months or so, it's going to be a totally different picture. Yes, we see rate rises all the time in the US by the Fed. They're stupid. They're going to force a recession, and within 6 or 7 months, they're going to have to ease because the market's coming off so quick, and economic data is so weak at the moment, particularly in the US, whether it be manufacturing data, whether it be export data, whether it be housing data, you know, sentiment, all sorts of things. Business sentiment is low as well. So it's not great. So in my mind, the push down on this is very limited. That's my view after all these years of being in markets, 40 odd years. Now, if we go to some of the specific coins we hold, like IOTX, and I love our IOTX, this is a great story. You know, they do things where cars can be, you know, run by themselves and all sorts of things. It's a fantastic story. It's very close to the 200-day moving average here. Needs to get roughly past 3, say, for example. A lot of volume coming in here. Very, very cheap. I mean, this thing was way back, you know, way over 25 cents or something. It's been smashed. But, you know, if you go into Slack, you'll see the stories on IOTX, and it's a great story, okay? This looks very bullish to me. You've got this rounding here, right? And when you see that rounding, it looks very good to me, right? You got this rounding here, big rounding, like trying to form a base. And that looks pretty good to me, I've got to tell you, technically. If we look at Atom, it's on a 4 hour as well. Again, it's just past the 200-day moving average, okay? Got a lot of, you know, buying here. Now, there was a reason for that. They're now Atom Cosmos DYDX, I think they're called, one of the biggest exchanges in the world, is now using their platform to put their exchange on it, and that's super. Atom can go a fair way as far as I'm concerned. It's extremely, extremely cheap. It used to be going way back. It was way up here, you know, in the 30s or something. And it's very, very cheap, like so many of these cryptos that we buy that we believe are blue chip coins. And Atom is one of those. It's a blue chip coin. Also, AirSwap, we bought that as well. This is very oversold as well. We are starting to see big volume on AirSwap, just gone through the 200-day moving average here. It'll be interesting to see if it can hold that, but it still looks pretty good to me, okay? And big volume starting to come in. Rune got the same story. It's seeing a lot more volume than it was, as you can see by this indicator here and here. Yes, there's sellers around, but, you know, if you can get through this 200-day moving average to 2.29, it's off to the races. Matic was severely oversold. Okay, they've got a lot of new clients just recently. Yes, they're selling here, but it's just got to its 200-day moving average. Okay, and that looks very good to me, very good indeed. So if we go to Slack and look at Matic Polygon, right? There's a lot of great stuff in here in Slack, and Matic's gone up simply because now their Polygon is carbon neutral, okay, just like XRP, which is fantastic, right? Doesn't use heaps of electricity or anything else. Also, they've just gone to partnership with Kilmo Deo, and they're going to be using Matic's network. They're a client, which is great, and it means that Kilmo Deo will pay for Polygon's network, okay, which is a great story. And they've achieved carbon neutrality, which is fantastic, okay? There's always something going on with Matic. A lot of people use Matic. They're always getting more and more clients on their browser, okay? And it's a pretty good story. And Matic is very cheap as well. I mean, if you go back to the charts, it was way up, right? Way up, you know, well over $2 at one stage, okay? All these cryptos are so cheap. They're not going to go away. The technology is not going to go away, okay? We look at AVAX, another one we buy, and we love AVAX as well. You know, that's starting to move up as well. And it looks very nice here. It needs to break, clearly, 1850 and the 200-day moving average of 1734, okay? If we go to Slack again and have a look at AVAX, there's some fantastic stories about AVAX, right? Fantastic stories, right? Now, what has it done? Technically, it looks pretty good to me. Now, who averaged the bridge so a new native Bitcoin support, and they've got a bridge for that. Always doing well, Matic. It's always putting on more and more clients, right? Platypus Finance are a client of Matic's, Avalanche, I should say, and they're going to start minting as well. So there's always new stories, and that's what adds to the value. They get more clients on board, they're going to have more value in terms of their coin. So AVAX is a great story, and we love it. One we don't have, I don't know what one's about, but technically it's broken through the 200-day moving average. There is selling here, but there's also big buying, okay? And as you can see with this line here, that's the amount of volume that's been done. And volume has picked up very quickly, and it's over the 200-day moving average, which I should have a look at that. If we look at Engine, we know the story about Engine is brilliant. Big volume coming in here, just near the 200-day moving average of 52 cents. If it breaks through that, it's going to go a lot higher, people. And I have a feeling these markets are going to break upside, okay? That's made, we don't buy that much because it doesn't have a lot of liquidity these days. Audio, another one we buy. Internet's a bit slow today, which is very annoying. Bear with me. So audio is right on the 200-day moving average. Lots of volume going through here, and it's very cheap. It's owned by TikTok, okay? One of the biggest establishments, media, social media from China in the world, right? You know, and this thing was way over $1.45 or even $1.80, okay? Very cheap, people, very cheap. I have to tell you this. OXT, we don't buy, but, you know, you're getting the general idea here, right? You know, these things are starting to bounce. And one of the cheapest coins is Binance, right? Very cheap indeed. Binance monopolizes the crypto market in every way. Just so cashed up, it is not funny, okay? And Binance is one of my favorite stories. Let's get rid of that line. Sorry, it makes a mess and I don't want it anymore. That's the problem with this. Sometimes you get into something, you get stuck and you start drawing all over your bloody charts, which is damn annoying. Let's get rid of that. Now I'm trying to get rid of this thing. Oh, God, that's the only thing I don't like about TradeStation, right? It can be very annoying sometimes. Okay, so this one looks to me like it's trying to consolidate here. It's trying to break 228, you know, around 228 to 237. It needs to get past 253 to be off to the races, okay? It's doing a lot of work around here, Binance. But then when you look at Binance's dominance, it's actually rising. And that's something I do look at as well. If you have a look at Binance's dominance, it's actually rising, okay? And that's very bullish, right? And when you get that, you know they're going to start buying more of this, okay? So I do look at Binance dominance as well. These guys burn every day as well. They burn their coin every day, and they've already said to people, you know, we're going to burn another 75 million or something. To bring it down, they supply to 100 million. This is a no-brainer. Binance seriously is a no-brainer, people. I've got to tell you that. Let's have a look, for example, Crow. Now, they've really hit this big time. Even though they're putting off staff and everything, this company is still extremely profitable. And you know, has done a lot of sponsoring, and it's trying to bottom here, the bottom 0.09. It's trying to get past 12 cents. If it does that, the next level is 14 cents and it'll be off to the races. Now, Certic we love. Certic, you know, has done very well even with this sell-off, okay? And it looks pretty good. It's above the 200-day moving average. You should get some more mileage out of Certic, I should say. Civic doesn't look too bad either. This is Civic ID, which we have as well. Needs to get through 15 cents to be off to the races, okay? And I suspect you might just get it. Let's have a look at DOT. Very cheap. DOT, very cheap indeed. What a buy on that. Needs to get through 824 to be off to the races. Another one's extremely cheap and has all the goods is Chainlink, okay? And honestly, Chainlink is so cheap, people. So cheap. Right on the 200-day moving average here. You know, this has been at lofty heights, okay? If we take it back to the monthly, Chainlink has been so smashed, and they put on new clients every day. Now, when I see this, now I've taken it back to the monthly, right? The M has completed itself. You know, seriously, it's gone whoosh. When you see an M like that, time buy, because it's actually taken their valuation. Let me move myself here. Way back to 2019 or even less, right? Yeah, back to 2019. And Chainlink put on 2 clients every day that are paying for their services because they're a pricing oracle, right? And many other things, security and everything else. It's a great story. Very cheap, guys and girls, very cheap. And that's why we've been buying it. You know, in terms of the Sharpe ratio, this is very cheap. Qcoin's come off quite a bit, and I do believe Qcoin is a takeover target, okay? So, you know, I find anything under 10 bucks is ultra cheap. Qcoin are killing it. They're increasing their clients. They've got about 12 to 15 million clients now. They're absolutely killing it at the moment. Notwithstanding, they were fined by the Canadian regulator for not following the rules. But, you know, look, they get tapped on the wrist, they pay their fine, and that's it, right? But, you know, I've got to say some crypto looks very good to me, and I just feel this market is so oversold that it's an opportunity for a lifetime to be buying crypto, even down here. I'm prepared to do it. I'm prepared to put my money where my mouth is. If you don't want to take the risk, people, please don't do it. If you can't afford to lose money, don't do it, okay? If we look at Chile's on the monthly, it's been smashed, okay? Chile's only got up to $1, and it's now at 0.09, you know, and it's the only fan token for all different sports clubs in the world. Massive, and they have massive clients, and it's been smashed. But what a time to buy, people. What a time to buy. That's all I can say. Everything's been smashed. The valuations, the intrinsic values are so much higher than where the coins are at the moment, right? Which means, you know, you just have to buy, literally. But as I said, don't do it if you can't handle the risk or you can't handle the losses of our current portfolios. I'm here for the duration of the war, right? I'll be doing this for when I'm 100, right? And, you know, to me, I see this as an opportunity of a lifetime. I really do. I'm being honest. I see this as an absolute opportunity of a lifetime. Everything is so cheap. Even Nexo, right? Nexo is nowhere near like a Celsius. They actually bailed people out. If people know their fundamentals, Nexo bailed everyone out, right? And they're bigger than Celsius. They even offered to buy Celsius assets. That's how big they are. And this M structure has completed itself, and it's pretty much on its lows. So there's so many things that I look at that just tell me this market is so massively oversold. It's so ridiculous. Fear is in there, fear for so long. It's been coming down since November. And I just think the next half of this year is going to be ultra bullish, because these cryptos are not going away. The technology is not going away. Everyone else out there is saying more bleak news, down. And I'm probably the only one that's saying up. And I'm getting a lot of flack on Twitter for it. But anyway, I'm a big girl, I can handle it. But anyway, guys and girls, that's my thinking. you know, the Fed is rate rising too quickly. They're going to force a recession. And my belief is they will have to start easing sooner than later, bringing interest rates down, because the US economy, to me, looks very shaky. I've got to tell you, and the European economies look even worse, okay, and even parts of Asia. So I think we're going to see a big, big bounce in crypto markets very, very soon. Anyway, guys and girls, I hope you are all well. Please listen to this, and you know, we'll see where we go. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.